I M18 started an Instagram page last summer for extra cash, aiming for OnlyFans to fund our dream apartment with my boyfriend, M19. Now I owe 2,000 to college. I have to do this, I argued, but he's against it. No exposing yourself. Who will crack first? I am male aged 18 and my boyfriend, a male aged 19, began our relationship in October of 2024. Around June of 2024, I started an Instagram page where I posted outfits that were somewhat revealing. The ultimate goal of this page was to develop it into an OnlyFans page over time and use the earnings to launch a streaming channel. My page did not begin to gain decent engagement until I went to college, where we met, around the beginning of October. Before our relationship commenced, I had already informed him about this page, and he was entirely supportive of it. However, to be honest, I never disclosed that I intended to eventually transition it into content of a not safe for work nature. We spent a lot of time together playing video games and going for night walks around campus, truly enjoying each other's company. On October 17th, we officially started dating. The relationship has been incredible. He cares for me deeply and consistently expresses his love. He has even allowed me time to focus on creating content for my page, which continues to expand. However, we recently encountered a disagreement, which initially arose in January. Essentially, upon returning to college from winter break, we discussed our plans to move out of our family homes and into an apartment together, intending to save money from our jobs at the college for this purpose. However, several issues complicated this plan from the very start. My boyfriend does not have a well-paying job at the college and receives very few hours. His monthly earnings are around 150 to 250, with the higher figure being quite rare. We are compensated monthly by the college, which means we do not have access to additional funds and must wait until the next paycheck or possibly rely on a family member to deliver necessary items to us. To be completely candid, I am not good at saving money. I spend a significant amount on clothing, hygiene products, and so on, and I seldom have any savings, mostly having only the items I purchase through spending. We have not really attempted to find solutions to our financial problems, instead just coasting through the months up to this point in the year, with only about 4 weeks left until college concludes and summer begins. We currently lack funds for the apartment, and at the moment, both of us have had no luck finding summer jobs. Fortunately, my boyfriend asked his parents if I could stay with them for a month during the summer before moving in with him. If we can secure jobs quickly, that month will provide a nearly free savings period for an apartment. Together, we will also receive approximately $700 during that month from the college as our final paycheck. Although we will have some money to start with, I fear it will not be sufficient. Therefore, I suggested utilizing my page to launch an OnlyFans, as it has been gaining decent traction, and I have received numerous inquiries on various social media platforms regarding whether I sell content since my page has become increasingly revealing. Initially, he was hesitant, and later we had a disagreement during which he expressed his disapproval of the idea. I explained what would be acceptable, but he stated he was uncomfortable with many of the positions and activities I had in mind. A few days after that argument, we reached a compromise regarding what acts would be permissible. Our agreement includes the following stipulations. Only masturbation will be featured in the content. I could wear a plug but must not expose myself. After reaching this agreement, I ordered all the necessary equipment to start producing content and even recorded a few sessions before my gear arrived. Now that my equipment has been delivered, along with other toys I already owned or had purchased, I am eager to begin creating and posting content. However, we have encountered two further complications. We have both been very sexually active, which has left me feeling exhausted. I owe the college $2,000 by early May, and it is nearly mid-April. For some context regarding that second point, from the very start of my college experience, I was aware I would not be returning. I utilized it merely as a place to reside while my family opposed my moving out to develop my content and to save money for a place during the summer. I am not passionate about education. I only performed well in high school due to familial pressure, not because I possess genuine academic aptitude. Therefore, I formulated a plan. Since the beginning of the year, my total balance had been covered by a Pell Grant due to a family situation, allowing me to drop out at the end of the semester without incurring any debt. Alternatively, if any expenses arose, I had been earning enough from my job, despite the monthly payment structure. I receive a decent amount each month, approximately $450. And from OnlyFans income, I anticipated having ample funds and nearly a year's worth of work experience for summer job opportunities. However, as mentioned, I began dating my boyfriend, and although I do not wish to sound rude, it is genuine, we became quite distracted. Even though I intended to leave college regardless, I was supposed to at least pass. Unfortunately, I did not. I received poor grades throughout the year due to frequent absences and failure to complete assignments, which has now resulted in a balance due imminently. Because I spent months not addressing our financial issues, we now find ourselves in a desperate situation where I must quickly pay off this debt. Honestly, I have been unable to consult the financial aid office at my college regarding a potential summer payment plan or an alternative payment plan to address the balance monthly. However, I do know that my online dashboard indicates I owe $2,000 by early May. I also attempted to explore student loans but had no success in finding anyone willing to lend, likely due to my lack of credit. At this point, with a relatively substantial fan base and consistent inquiries about purchasing content from fans, I proposed creating videos featuring some of my toys and posting that content as paid material while keeping the masturbation videos as part of the initial subscription offering. The primary reason for this suggestion is that, as previously mentioned, I feel drained lately, and I tend to last much longer when using toys. Additionally, I can use the toys every day if I wish, without needing multiple days of rest for a quality video. Therefore, I could potentially produce multiple videos and begin posting them quickly, hopefully gathering enough funds to settle my balance and start saving for the apartment before that month concludes while staying with his parents. However, as stated before, he is uncomfortable with this idea and has not suggested alternative strategies that we could try. I fully understand his reasoning for opposing this and his concerns about me posting such content. Nevertheless, my personal mindset cannot let go of what I have been doing, especially since he was aware that I had a page featuring somewhat explicit content and still chose to date me, apparently assuming I would do this for free indefinitely or perhaps cease at some point. I do not intend to come off as rude or harsh. We both love each other and want each other to be happy. However, when it comes to issues regarding summer, moving, and working, he appears to be lacking effort in devising a plan and dedicating time to effectively outline what we will do. He has expressed in words his desire to be with me and live together, but his actions sometimes suggest otherwise. In addition to the OnlyFans situation, we are both uncertain how to resolve this problem. I have told him that I might record a video while he is at work or something similar because I urgently need to generate income, but he advises against it, so I refrain. Nevertheless, I feel compelled to take action soon. Thus, I genuinely ask, what should we do in this situation? To summarize, I began working on establishing a future, albeit temporary, not safe for work page in the summer of 2024. I attended college, met, and then started dating my boyfriend, who knows about my page and is completely supportive. We have both somewhat neglected to save our money effectively throughout the year, primarily due to my poor saving habits. As a result of my low grades, I now have a $2,000 balance due by early May with mid-April approaching. My page has gained a solid following, and I have received numerous messages inquiring about content sales. Consequently, I wish to create explicit videos featuring toys to generate income before it becomes too late. He is fine with masturbation content and wearing a plug for videos, but he is uncomfortable with me displaying explicit content. I am requesting to expand beyond this with the toys, as I need several days to prepare for masturbation videos, which impacts profit and video consistency. We are both unsure how to resolve these issues. Story 2. After 18 years with my boyfriend, I'm spiraling into an OCD nightmare fueled by obsessive thoughts of cheating. What if he's lying? Haunts me daily. He's never strayed, but I'm suffocating him with doubt. Is love enough to fight this battle, or should I let him go? I am a 36-year-old female who has been in a long-term relationship with my boyfriend, who is also 36 years old, for nearly 18 years. I must start at the very beginning, as it provides context to the entire situation. We met when we were 14 years old. I was completely infatuated with him and he felt the same way. Although we lived miles apart, we had a mutual friend and he would come to visit that friend every weekend. We would kiss and act like kids before he would head home again. This went on for a considerable time. Life just happened. We were never really boyfriend and girlfriend. Throughout my teenage years, this pattern repeated itself. As we matured, we started to sleep together. During these occasions, we would have sexual relations. Then I began college while he was working. We still lived far apart, but we would communicate, and there was a connection I had never experienced with anyone else. I lost my virginity to him and have never been intimate with anyone else. I struggled with a significant alcohol problem during my teenage years. I later discovered I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and autism, which effectively masked my low self-esteem and lack of confidence. This cycle continued. He went through a phase when he wanted to see me, but I was not genuinely interested. I mean, I did have feelings for him, as I always have, but I was using drugs, possessed a fake identification, was attending college, had a part-time job, and was frequently going out to get drunk whenever possible. Occasionally, I ended up at his mother's house. Other times, I did not. Then he realized that other girls were attracted to him. He is so handsome that I cannot adequately express it. I think he is the most beautiful man I have ever seen. He went through women as quickly as I went through vodka. At that time, I do not think I cared much. I was more focused on drinking. Still, we ended up together. He entered a brief relationship that lasted a couple of months. We slept together as soon as that ended, and subsequently I got a job, and it would happen occasionally. He would call and I would meet him, or I would run into him at a club and go home with him. At one point, it became all about me. I was calling him and leaving his house before he woke up in the mornings. We had lots of fun and a lot of sex. As we got older, I think stronger emotions began to surface. I wanted more, but I never expressed it. When we were 18 or 19, he began dating a girl whom I will refer to as Becky. He visited me after we had not seen each other for months, and I ignored him, so he started dating her and attempted a relationship. I think he was with her for a couple of months, maybe 4. I was devastated. I visited him once because I frequently hung out with his friends, who had become my friends, and we ended up sleeping together. It haunts me to think about this. It is not my proudest moment, and we should never have done that. He never told her but ended the relationship shortly after that. He was never truly interested in her, not in the same way she was in him. He told me he should not have been with her because it was unfair to her, as he did not care about her feelings at all. He has not cheated on anyone else, and he maintains he did it simply because it was me. I felt awful, so I did not see him again for a while. Somehow we ran into each other in town, and he informed me he was no longer with her. Naturally, we ended up together again. He moved away from his party lifestyle, and I had mostly stopped going out. He discussed with his mother that he was fed up with our casual arrangement and had always loved me. I was the only one he had ever had feelings for, and he wanted us to try to be a couple properly. She called me and shared everything, although he was unaware I already knew. The call came during his work's Christmas party where he asked me to come meet him, and his boss covered my drinks for the entire evening. We were 19.5 at this point, and we had the best night. We ended up at his sister's house, and she told us to stop playing games and just get together properly. We were very drunk, laughed, and agreed. We have been together ever since, which was 18 years ago. In the early stages of our relationship, we spent a significant amount of time together. I unexpectedly became pregnant due to a contraception issue about 3 months after we started dating. After the initial shock, we were both truly happy, as were our parents and siblings who had known each other for years because of us. Our baby was born the following December, and we celebrated our anniversary shortly thereafter. Things have been good, we do not argue, we never have. We went through a phase of living as roommates, but that was short-lived while we were raising our 3 little children. He works and I stay at home. Everyone looks at our relationship with envy. We are the couple people aspire to emulate. He is very laid back, goes out once a year for his Christmas work party, and otherwise spends time at home with us. We are the most uneventful family you will ever meet, and our lives revolve around our children, who are now 16, 14, 8, and 2 years old. Recently, however, I experienced a flare-up of obsessive-compulsive disorder. I thought it would be a good idea to ask him if he had ever been unfaithful to me. There were a few instances when he went out drinking with his friends when we were probably around 23. I think he was merely reminiscing about the life we shared before having children, considering we were still so young. He insists he has never cheated on me, but I have made myself extremely ill with obsessive thoughts. You might call it karma from my involvement in previous infidelity. My appetite has vanished, I cry constantly, and I seek constant reassurance. He swears that nothing has ever occurred, no dancing with women, no kissing or touching. He possesses strong moral principles, does not follow any women on social media, has only Facebook, is very chivalrous, and is undoubtedly the most down-to-earth and kindest man I have ever met. However, I can see that I am destroying him with my behavior. I cannot shake the thought that he might have cheated and is just lying to me. I conjure horrible images in my mind. Thinking about all his past girlfriends makes me feel ill. I am incredibly envious of the girl he dated before me. In the past 4 months, we have almost broken up 5 times, and we have never gone through a breakup before. I have developed significant trust issues for seemingly no real reason. Would I be aware if he had been unfaithful? Was I too naive to believe he would not cheat and blindly trust him? What does a man do when he goes out to bars and clubs with friends? I cannot adequately express how much I ruminate and ponder this. I spend most of my day caught in these thoughts. I wake up in a panic, attempting to recall every night we have ever spent together. He has humorously indulged me throughout this time. We have discussed every woman he has ever slept with, and he has answered every question I pose, yet I cannot move on. I am contemplating ending our relationship for his benefit because I do not know how to leave all of this behind. I cannot let go of it, and he deserves to be happy. He is the best man in the world, and I love him so much that just the thought of him not being here every day makes me feel ill. I visited the general practitioner for help, and they referred me to a pastoral team where I cried significantly, but that was the extent of it. I am genuinely one of the happiest people you will meet, but this situation has led me to consider taking antidepressants, even though I dislike the idea. I am trapped in a vicious cycle of obsessive-compulsive rumination and I do not know how to stop. He encouraged me to post here, suggesting people would tell me I am being foolish. So here I am. Reddit, I would appreciate any assistance. To summarize, I am contemplating ending my 18-year relationship because I am struggling with intrusive thoughts regarding infidelity.